Hi, Carolinian community. Zari here. I am so excited to see all of the new followers of our digital broadcast. Please remember to like and share to keep our community growing. Now, on to the news. We had a few very disturbing recalls this past week. They have added to the questions about the efficacy of the FDA. We also want to give you an explanation of why the Republicans are holding out on the extension of the ACA subsidies, which would end the shutdown. We will share a snippet from a minority business conference this week. And finally, more young adults are opting out of having children. We will explore why. First, let's address the recalls. Pasta, eggs, and prepackaged pork have all had recalls within the past week, but they aren't the most disturbing of the issues. There are two prescription medication recalls that need to be shared. The first is the generic brand of Lipitor called atorvastatin calcium tablets, which are taken to lower cholesterol and help prevent heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. The second is the blood pressure medicine sold by Teva Pharmaceuticals called prazosin hydrochloride. This medicine was recalled due to potentially cancer-causing ingredients. If you or any of your loved ones take these types of medicines, please have them check their prescriptions immediately. Now, on to the explanation for the shutdown. ACA subsidies were in full swing starting in 2014. At that time, many states took on Medicaid expansion. This term is used frequently but not explained. Medicaid expansion is basically a permission slip for states to extend supplemented medical coverage to a larger group of people, usually those who would not have qualified under the previous guidelines. This meant that people that weren't in or at the level of poverty were now able to get supplemented insurance. Theoretically, having access to medical coverage that you do not have to pay full price for seems like a good thing, and perhaps it could be on a case-by-case basis. But, as a collective, it is insanely expensive. This is the reason the Republican Party wants to revamp the program. Let me bring this closer to home. In 2014, when the ACA was finally fully enacted, the insurance company United Healthcare had profits of about $130 billion for insuring people. Last year, in 2024, United Healthcare's revenues were $400 billion, with a B, give or take a few million. That means that in 10 years' time, they almost quadrupled their profits. Why? Because your tax dollars are going straight into their pockets through the ACA. Blue Cross's revenues went from roughly $450 million in 2014 to about $820 million in 2023, according to filings. Nearly doubling. Cigna went from $37 billion in 2015 to $247 billion in 2024. And the list goes on. The mandate that all Americans had to have insurance meant that these companies were going to get paid hundreds of billions of dollars, whether or not people needed or wanted to go see a doctor. Hundreds of millions of dollars being paid for no services rendered. Those are tax dollars that are going to companies. That seems like the most expensive welfare program ever created. In fact, according to Politico, in 2021, the Democratic Congress and then-President Joe Biden layered enhanced subsidies on top of the existing ACA concessions for everyone, all while lifting the income cap to qualify, 400% of the poverty level, meaning that a family of four earning $128,000 a year now qualified for government-subsidized health care. Our government receives trillions of dollars in tax revenue each year. We need to ask more pressing questions of our representatives as to where all of that money is going. One last note on this. The Medicaid program is still in place and is still serving the most needy of our citizens. Switching gears for a moment, this week in Miami Beach, Florida, a huge supplier diversity conference is taking place. Some of the largest corporations in the country have sent their diversity teams to recruit small businesses to join their supply chain. You would think that this event was just for large minority businesses, but surprisingly, it was for businesses large and small. For instance, United Airlines had a booth at the conference, and they were recruiting for landscapers. Amazon had a booth as well, and they were recruiting for everything you could imagine, from janitorial services to catering services. Of course, there were other companies looking for partners in manufacturing and software development, but the wide range of opportunities were eye-opening. It was beautiful to see all of those minority businesses, both large and small, come together in one place for one common goal, and that was commerce. While on the subject of money, the lack of financial stability is one of the top reasons young adults are opting out of having children. Many young people are choosing to prioritize careers and personal goals. Concerns about climate and political uncertainty are two other reasons young adults are opting for childlessness. But let's explore the cost of raising a family in 2025. In the 1990s, there was a long-running joke that babies cost $35. That's because labor and delivery was fully covered by your insurance company, and all you had to pay was a $35 co-payment fee. Today, even with insurance, labor and delivery costs average $2,500 and go north from there. But that is only the beginning. In some instances, childcare can be equivalent to the cost of your monthly mortgage, especially for infants. Then there are special foods, medical costs, car seats, clothing, and other furnishings. For a couple that are both working and barely making ends meet, having children seems as far a distant dream as owning a home right now. With the rising cost of everything and mass layoffs engulfing our current existence, it is difficult to blame the 20-somethings for choosing to be pet parents instead. As always, you can follow us on our social channels or visit our website anytime for the latest news and updates. Have a great week, community.